you have been sewing your invisible zip anyhow, the time has come to put an end to that rubbish, please. I want to show you a simple method. Guess what? You will not find this method anywhere because I, Love and Dollars, came up with it myself. This is the best method to sew an invisible zip. I promise you, if you follow along step by step to the end, it's going to be a game changer for you. Imagine this was done with my butterfly machine, not even industrial. Come on, let's go. I already have my zip here. I'm using the black and I'm using a white fabric. The reason I'm doing this is for a very strategic purpose. So I'm going to measure 1 inch for my zip allowance. Usually if I'm sewing on a real fabric, I'll use 1.5 or just 2 inches, but for this I'll use 1 inch. So from that point I'll go down by 7. That is going to be how long I want my zip opening to be. I'll go over to the other side and also measure 7 inches so that I could rule a short straight line along that point. I'm just going to snip it off because it's too long and I want it to accommodate the whole screen. So I'm going to just mark the same 1 inches I gave for allowance, and then with my ruler I'm going to connect those points so that when I take it to the sewing machine, I'm going to sew along these points in a straight line without making any mistakes or error. This is what it looks like when I was done sewing, and luckily for me there was light. I just went ahead to use light to give it a good press. Now I'm going to be introducing my invisible zipper. This is how an invisible zipper should look. Everybody knows how an invisible zipper looks, but if you don't, this is how it looks. So we are going to be going to our sewing machine now. Not me and you. Yes, me and you will be going over to the sewing machine to sew this together. I'm going to show you how to place your invisible zip on your fabric. This is the right side of my fabric and that is the wrong side of my fabric. You are going to have the right side facing you. For my invisible zip, this is the front, the right side. The part with the handle is the right side and this part is the wrong side. You are going to place it right sides facing each other, the right side of the zip facing the right side of the fabric, and you are going to place it on the left side of the fabric. The left side, not the right side. Okay, I'm going to be explaining this for the second time, but this time I'm using the green zipper because it's more visible. So now I have the right side of my fabric, it's facing me, and that is the wrong side facing downwards. I'm going to take my zipper. This is the front side of my zipper, the part with the handle, and then the other side that looks like a normal zipper is the wrong side. So I'm going to place the right side of my zipper on the right side of my fabric on the left side, just the way you see me do. And when you place it, make sure that you place it on the 1 inch distance you gave for your zipper allowance. Hope I'm clear. When I was sewing this part, I didn't know that it wasn't showing. My machine was blocking it. Lucky for me, thank God I went to immediately check before proceeding to the other part. So I'm just going to explain what I did here. I explained that if you are sewing a garment, that's a normal garment, you have to fold the excess of the zip that is on top inwards before sewing. That is how you sew on a normal fabric, but since this is just a tutorial fabric, that's why I'm just leaving it like that. And now you have to sew on the edge, on the very edge, because I want it to be steady. I want to make sure that as I'm sewing, it will not be shifting. So I'll just sew on the edge so that it's going to be sturdy. I think sturdy is the word, and it will just not be shifting here and there. I really wish I'm seeing you right now so that you would be giving me immediate feedback if you understand or not. That is the first thing we are doing, sewing along the edges so that we'll keep our zip firm to our fabric. Now that I'm done sewing, make sure you cut your threads. That is also a tip to having nice looking zip. Cut your thread. Now this is what it's looking like, but this is not what we want. A mistake that I see most people make when they are sewing their invisible zip is assume that the principle that accompanies a normal zip also follows an invisible zip. What we are told when we are sewing a normal zip is that you should sew immediately after the teeth. You should sew immediately after the teeth. That is what we are told, but that doesn't follow an invisible zip. So I'm going to show you what it looks like if we sew an invisible zip the same way we would sew a normal zip. This is another tip you can employ to avoid having trouble when sewing your zip. Since it's not an industrial machine, to get the machine teeth to move away from the beginning of the zip is sometimes very hard. So what I employ is that I will start stitching on a piece of paper, and when I know that it's almost getting to the end, I will introduce my zip. Okay, I will introduce my zip and immediately enter and then I'll be using my piece of paper to drag it so that I would have a free ride from there. I'm sewing the other side right now. After sewing, I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like if we use the normal method for sewing zip to sew an invisible zip. There is a reason why it's called an invisible zip. It's supposed to be invisible. The zip is not supposed to be showing at all. That's why I'm using a different color zip. You are not supposed to see this my zip at all. The only thing that you are going to see is my fabric enclosing the zip. So that's why I told you that there is a reason why I use a different color zip for this. And don't let the threads confuse you. The threads at both edges, they are the lines I used to hold my zipper in place at first, and the lines that are close to the teeth of the zip are the lines I used to illustrate why you should not sew an invisible zipper the same way you would sew a normal zip and the results you would get if you do so. This, what I'm about to do now, is how you sew a zipper properly and easily. Open it up, turn it over to the other side. Okay, now I want you to watch me closely how I'm going to fix this zipper right now. You know what, let me zoom this a bit so that you see clearly what I'm saying. Now when you look at this clearly, the teeth of the zipper is going to your left. It's going to your left, so you are going to open up the teeth. You are going to open up the teeth and sew inside. Now I want you to watch how I'm going to sew it. Okay, this is a this is a closer view. You are going to open it up like that. You see what I just did there? Now that place is where you are supposed to sew, where my hand is, where my fingernails are touching right now. That is where you are supposed to sew along. And please make sure that your teeth is facing the left side, the direction of my hand. Anyway, the left side, make sure it's facing the left side. What I came to understand is that the position of your zip matters. When I was sewing a project that I had to use a lot of invisible zip, I had 10 gowns that I had to use invisible zips to sew. That was when I found out all these things. So what I'm telling you is first hand experience. Okay, make sure it's facing the left side. It's easier and better to sew that way. And as you are sewing, make sure you are opening it up and sewing on the inside of the invisible zipper. After I am done explaining like this, and you tell me you don't understand and you still keep sewing what you are sewing, I will cry. I will cry, please. A very, very important announcement that I want to give. You know that when you are recording, it's always inverse. If you are recording left, it'll be showing you right. If you are recording right, it'll be showing you left. So my left is actually your right. My left on the camera, anywhere I say left, it is your right. Okay, that's because I just explained it. When you are recording, everything just goes inverse. My left will be your right will be my left. So thank you for watching to the end, and let me just use the opportunity, please and please subscribe. It's not easy. Look at the way I was just the voiceovers. I just wanted you to understand. So please smash on that subscribe button, like and leave a comment. I remain Love and Dollars, your favorite girl. Even if I'm not, I will be, and I want to be your favorite girl. When you are sewing, you are going to get to a point at the bottom where the handle is. You will not be able to sew past there, so all you have to do is open it up and sew along the edges of the teeth of the zip till you get to the end of the zip. Come on now, our invisible zipper is zipping and we are not even done yet. When you open it up or close it back, it's going to be swift, it's going to be smooth. And if you are sewing and you notice that you are eating the zip, keep sewing. If you dey eat the zip, now you dey even sew am well self, but be careful though so that you no go and spoil your zip.
Now it's time for me to go sew the other edge so that it will close up. Remember what I told you, make sure it's facing the left direction. Make sure that the teeth is facing the left angle. That is the only way you'll be able to sew it effectively without any mistake. It must be facing the left. I keep on demonstrating with my hands and with my everything I have so that you know that this thing no be joke. Now you see this one, so it's facing the right. That is not what we want. We want it to be facing the left. So you are going to position it in a way that is going to be facing the left. That's why I'm turning it upside down so that I will have the teeth of my zip facing the left side. I'm using everything I have to demonstrate this. I'm using my mouth, I'm using my hands, I'm using a arrow, please. And also when you are sewing, make sure you open it up and sew along and sew inside. That is the secret to sew an invisible zip. Open it up like that teeth, so open up the zip and sew inside. Okay, thank you.
Now, when we are sewing in this position, the handle of our zip, what I'm touching right now, is going to obstruct the movement of our machine. Okay, so you are going to start it at the next possible point that you can. And you know that you would have to open it up. So you have to start it at the next point that is possible for the machine needle to fit in. The thing be say, no matter how I try to make sure that you will understand, I know that not all of you will understand, and that is it saddens me. Oh my god. The moment of truth is here. Do I really know what I'm saying? Of course I know what I'm saying, Doubting Thomas. Look at what I'm talking about. This is the outcome of my machine. This is what I was able to come up with using a butterfly machine. If you are trying to zip it up and you are finding obstruction, use your razor blade to cut off the thread on the way. And after that, come on now, look at this is an invisible zip. My invisible zip is invisible. Please give me accolades, give me my flowers, because I deserve this, and I deserve and I demand your like. Please, can you like? Just like the video, okay? You know that I actually tried. Okay, you obviously know the reason for that opening at the bottom. There are lots of obstructions at the bottom because of the big handle that was there at the bottom. Yeah. So the way I used to fix this, it doesn't fix this completely, but it fixes it to an extent. So the first sewing I made at the bottom, I'm going to blend it into the zip line. But the thing is, you can actually leave it like that. You can leave it like that because it's covering on its own. When you iron it down, it's going to cover on its own. But if you're a perfectionist like me that like your things in order, well, I guess you should just do this extra step to achieve your perfection, sweetheart. We have come to the end of this video, and if you found this video helpful, I know you did, so don't try to even hide it. Smash on that subscribe button, subscribe, like, and leave a comment.